Welcome everybody to Two Drunk Dudes in a Gun Room.
Brought to you by Savai Army Entertainment.
This is Don.
And Doug.
Hey, welcome back for another episode. What are we gonna do today, Doug?
What are we gonna do? I know. So you're all spontaneous half the time. You just fucking throw shit out there and be like, you know what? I got a question for you, right? So I got a question for you, right?
Okay.
So I got this question actually from one of the listeners from our podcast today, right?
Okay.
So they sent me a message and said, "Who is that guy with you that does the podcast?" So I went into, he's one of my old NCOs. So I figured, let's tell everybody how we met. How did you meet me?
Well, I mean, we obviously we met in the military. You know, you were an E7 at the time, and I was new to the unit, and I came right in as deployments were getting ready to start. So we ended up deploying.
So I remember that. I was actually, I made the list. I got frocked the first sergeant. I went through that damn deployment, and last month I got paid E8 pay. I can't forget that deployment, right? So I mean, we're not going to go into the NTC thing with the whole Doug Norris shit. We're not going to do that right now.
So no fun. Okay.
No, it's still going to be fun, right? It's still going to be fun. You'll have your episode with the whole Doug Norris thing and bring people on with the whole Doug Norris jokes, blah blah blah, whatever. But anyway, so that was Iraq, right?
Mm-hmm.
We deployed to Iraq.
Yep.
That was my second deployment to Iraq. Was your first?
No, I made several when I was with the 160.
Well, yeah, 160s don't count though because you guys were like 30 days and you got out, and
3 months
60
or so.
days or you got out, and
yeah.
I got you. It's more like, I mean, I've seen what them pilots take in their helicopters.
Yeah.
So like microwaves and everything. I mean, yeah.
You don't bring one?
Anyway, so tell me about your awesome experience in Iraq, right? So like, I mean, I took care of you in Iraq, didn't I?
You did. I mean, Uncle Sam and the molesting nephew. Yeah, you took great care of me. I left the country being told I was going to Al Assad until
we went to Al Assad.
Yeah, long enough for you to put me in a convoy to Ramadi. Which, by the way, there's nothing there.
We cleared those buildings for you, though.
Yeah, they were clear.
We cleared them and said, here you go. This is where you guys will reside.
You forgot about the rats. You didn't clear them.
They were too small. We didn't have to worry about them. They weren't carrying guns. They were carrying stuff out of the building, but they weren't carrying guns, so we didn't have to worry about them, right?
Right.
So, I mean, they were big as Blanchard, so...
Yeah, he was like 4'11".
How do you get in the Army?
I honestly, I wondered that myself.
I mean, there's a height requirement. I thought the height requirement was like 5'2", or maybe it was like even 5 feet.
I don't know how he would have made the minimum weight either.
He must have had platforms on or something.
He was
like fake heels or some shit.
Well, that was time of war, so they were kind of desperate.
So anyway, we cleared those buildings. We gave them to you, and my whole mission for you at that time was set up a Jiffy Lube, right, for convoys passing through. Right. So was that tough? Was it rough, or what was the hardest part about setting up the Jiffy Lube that I wanted?
You should have seen my face expression when I hit the ground, and they took me to what they were calling their motor pool. It was literally a container and a tent. That is all that was there. 3 civilians, and that was it. And I get there, right? There's one guy in charge of the 2 civilians. No military soldiers. No tools.
You mean civilians? What are you talking about?
They were KBR workers.
KBR. Okay. All right.
So they literally didn't even have tools. I mean, everything that they had got, they had been going around to motor pools asking to borrow stuff just to be able to work on things to justify a job, you know. And when you guys decided that we were going to use this as a basically a relay point, so that when the vehicles came here, we would do the repairs, get them back going, and they could move on to the next location. Um, at that point, I knew that the place that we had was not sufficient. It was not going to work. One, just the location of where it was in comparison to where the convoys came in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So I went around and there was a building that was abandoned, and they had been using it for redeployment staging.
Uh-huh.
So literally, I mean, once a year that building got used, you know. And so what we did is I took that building over and we set up an actual shop. It had an overhang. We put some containers out there to start securing tools, and then at that point it was about, you know, tactfully acquiring sufficient stuff to work on it.
I remember you were like, because I mean, you were how many clicks from Fallujah?
Oh man, you know, in distance it wasn't that far, but it was literally an hour and a half drive, sometimes 2 hours, depending on just which gate you went out.
Oh, I got you.
So if you went out the gate we were supposed to go out, which took you around the whole city of Ramadi and then back across over to Fallujah, it was hour and a half, 2 hours.
Because I remember you asking one time, you were like, well, because I left you with I left you with just a handful of people.
Yeah,
Right?
I had 3 mechanics plus Blanchard, and he had one other guy.
Didn't I give you a cook or something too? No.
No, you gave me a 92 Alpha that has never done anything with PLL and was coming from the
Oh,
SSA.
92 Alpha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I remember a question was like, what about guard duty, right? Who's going to pull our guard duty? And I was like, don't worry, you'll get enough operators here soon enough. And that's when I got in the truck and I left you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you made sure to come back and check on us, like after everything was set up.
And you had guard duty by then too.
We had guards.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You had enough broken down shit where the operators were pulling guard for you.
You know, it's crazy how big that point got.
Right.
I mean, from the time that we started, all the way to the time that we walked away from there, we had grown from the 3 civilian contractors to 6 civilian contractors. You gave me one more soldier. That was awesome.
Well, I took one from you too because he left his weapon or some shit.
He left it on the convoy and it went back to Al Assad. So you
Yeah.
brought him back to the weapon instead of bringing the weapon to him. And then you took another one that was there 24 hours and was already huffing fucking dust off.
Oh, huffing. Yeah, he was huffing.
It was a generator mechanic.
What was he huffing? Spray paint or
No,
some
it was
shit?
dust off.
Oh, it was dust. Oh,
The
it was dust
aerosol
off.
cans.
He passed out, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
officer just cut his hair, his own hair, and he went in to ask that soldier if he could look at the back to see if he got it. And he was unconscious in a chair.
I remember now. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know the dude's name, but yeah.
I don't remember his name either.
Because, like, we had a bunch of people that were getting sick and passing out off of. They take the spray paint and they put in this paper bag and they would huff it.
Yeah.
And they were just like they were dropping left and right. And then you bring me this dude said he was huffing canned air, and then it became a controlled item over there.
Yeah. Yep.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like you had to be a certain rank to go get this canned air in the middle of a desert where there's nothing but dust.
Yeah. Yeah, and I never understood. I mean, he was literally there. Like, I mean, you had people that were afraid. I mean, there was like people that were just telling you, don't send me to Ramadi. Yeah, I mean, they were afraid to come. That 92 Alpha that you all sent us, you know, I'm telling you, any boom, and he was in tears.
So didn't you have some of the Iraqi army there.
There was a base next to us.
Yeah, they
Was
were making some weird shit too, weren't they? Like spark with the
that was in
popcorn
Fallujah.
machine.
Yep. So part of the mission, right, was to
Everybody's like popcorn machine.
Yep.
What the fuck?
They were to teach logistics
Right.
to the Iraqis.
Right.
Right. So when we went to Fallujah, which we went twice a week, we would take our junk, the shit we didn't want,
Right.
you know, garbage,
And just give it to them.
and just give it to them.
There you go.
And they would make shit out of us. Well, I don't know who brought it to them. They brought it to them before we got there. And when we walked in, they had this movie theater popcorn machine. They were using it to test fuel injectors.
Right there, you go. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they had a rack up where
It was almost like a fucking cutout engine, almost.
Yeah.
You know.
They took a little spot where the popcorn used to be up in that part,
Yep.
and they hung a fuel rack up there with the injectors, and they used the pump from the grease to circulate diesel through it. And yeah, absolutely. Wood and
I thought that was pretty fucking cool. Actually,
it was cool.
I mean, you know, some of the Iraqis were decent, okay. I mean, as long as you didn't, you know, piss them off or disrespect them or blah blah blah. But anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. How that happened though.
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of the biggest differences, right, was that colonel did not want anything to fuck up the ties between us, because we were bringing Humvee parts and everything else, and he was selling them out the back door.
Oh, no shit?
Oh yeah,
No,
yeah,
I didn't
absolutely.
know that.
Yeah, I mean, we would argue with him and say, look, you got to look at your units, and the ones closest to the battlefield have the highest priority. So if you got a unit back here ordering an engine, and a unit on the front end lines ordering an engine, the one on the front lines gets it first.
I got you.
Right? Well, it went to the highest bidder, and miraculously the document number would be hidden and couldn't figure out where it went to or how it got lost or whatever, right? So the other part that he was real big on was security. You know, nobody knew when we were coming, what 2 days we were coming,
right,
other than him.
Right.
So we walk in one day, right? And we're going we always went to his office first, and we had tea and
chai tea.
Yeah.
And
so we walk past, and there's this soldier, Iraqi soldier, on a cell phone texting. And in one move, man, this colonel reaches back and he grabs that, slaps the phone out of this guy's hand, and then comes back with the phone in his hand and back slaps this private right up the side of the head, right? You should have seen the eyes of the soldiers you sent me. They were like, he just fucking cold clocked this motherfucker, you know? But it was a different part, you know, and he didn't say a word. I mean, he didn't skip a beat. He was still in marching steps. We get to the office, right? And we're talking about, you know, what we want to get accomplished, what we want to see, and drinking our chai, and he's not even responding, right? He's just going through that phone. And then he sets the phone down, he looks at us, he says, I apologize. He said, but I have to make sure that you guys are safe. He said, our soldiers are not like yours. They need a job, we gave them a job, but we don't know who they are. We didn't know who he could have been texting. He knows it. When he comes on his base, he is not allowed to use his phone, because we don't want the word to get out to let anybody know that you're here and you get ambushed on your way back. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool, you know.
So did you ever eat with them?
We did every time we went.
So like so we had the SEALs back on Al Assad over there. So we go and shoot their guns all the time and shit. You couldn't take part in that because you weren't there, but you know, we'd go and we'd meet up with them, and they were actually where they had colonels and stuff on their little camp.
Right.
And it was cool as fuck. We go over there, well, after shooting guns with them and everything. Sorry. But we would go over there and we would have the chai tea. And I'm just not a chai tea guy.
Hot tea is not my thing.
Well, I went through it though. And then they would take us in this room, and they had this line of just tables, right? Just one line. And then they would bring this food in, and the bread was
Yeah.
They had fish on top of this bread, rice, and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. That's
And you're
most
looking
common.
at
That's
it,
usually what we had
and
too.
like we're on one side of the table, Iraqis are on the other side of the table, and it's just we're looking at it. I'm the first time I was looking around like where's the plates and shit at kind of thing, you know?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you know, the colonel's like, eat, you know. And so we dug in, we watched them first because I was like, you know, I'm still looking for plates and
Yeah.
shit.
They use their bread like
And
a spoon.
yeah, man, they started just going in there with their hands and shit, and I'm just looking around going,
Looking to see if it was left or right.
all right, never had this before, but let's see what's going on. And I was just like, this is my section. Don't nobody touch my square, kind of thing. You know, it's just like, get your fucking hands, Captain, Commander, stay away from my square. This is my food. But that shit was good as fuck.
It was good.
But what killed me was, so after we got done eating, they got done eating. We would go smoke cigars after that. So
Right.
we left. Well, we started to leave the room, and they signaled something. Next thing you know, the soldiers came in and finished what we didn't finish. And I'm like, is that like all they get to eat or what? I was just like,
Yeah.
what's going on here, kind of thing. But
yeah, they don't get treated the same way that American soldiers get treated.
it was crazy, man. It was really it was different.
My
It was
highlight
very
was
different.
while we were eating with that nice place you sent us.
Uh-huh.
I was stuck watching 80s MTV
Fallujah's
videos.
not that bad.
You know, we had soldiers shooting each other on that base because of the living conditions. I don't know that I could have made it another year there watching those 80s
I
MTV
bet
videos.
It would only take 6 of those rats to pick Blanchard's bunk up with him on it and carry him out in the middle of the night.
It wouldn't have taken that many. They were definitely special forces. You'd be sleeping and
They
those
rappelled down from the walls.
yeah,
And shit.
and they would try to flank you, like they'd send in a blocking squad on one side, and next thing you know, you're getting flanked from the other side. I literally the first week was like laying in bed, and they would jump onto the bed.
You're talking about the little kangaroo rats that were only like fucking 3
No.
inches tall?
No, I'm talking about the ones that couldn't get 4 legs on the sticky pads because they were bigger than the sticky pads. And you'd look down and their head would be stuck to it, and they'd be scooting it across the floor. Yeah, no, we didn't have the Al-Assad rats. We had real fucking rats.
All right, I was just checking, man. I was just checking. But so after all that was said and done, though, we redeployed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got transferred. I was actually, you know, getting paid E8 at that point. I got transferred when I got back to 315 Infantry. Remember that?
Yep. Oh, how can I
And
forget?
I pulled you aside, and you really did not want to fucking do it. And I had to like fucking plead with you.
We went through negotiations.
We went through negotiations for you to come over and in my motor pool,
in Echo
right?
Company.
In Echo Company,
Yeah.
315 Infantry, right? And I honestly had my doubts that you were going to tell me to fuck off. I'm not fucking coming over.
It crossed my mind.
But you actually agreed to it, and you came over. I don't remember what the stipulations were and shit, but don't give a fuck. You still came over. So I mean that's brotherhood right there. There's actually trust in the relationship and everything like that. As far as what we built. Even though I dropped you off in the shittiest part of Iraq, I got it, dude. I got it. But you made mission happen, you know, and for you to come over like that, you just don't know how much I appreciated you coming over to take that job.
At the end of the day, I've always been the type of person. I mean, even now that I'm in the civilian world, I'm still about accomplishing a mission. Whether it's a winning situation or not, I'm going to do the best that I can do. And if it wasn't me that got put in Ramadi, or if it wasn't me that went to Echo Company, I was sure somebody would be that person, you know? And I've always had faith in myself to just do it. And not to mention, one of the worst things a veteran could feel is, what if I would have said, no, I don't want to do it, I can't do it, or I'm not going to do it, whatever the case may be. somebody else gets put in that wasn't supposed to do it. It was supposed to be me.
I could have failed.
Well, not just that, they could have died.
I could
You
have
know,
failed
I
too.
mean, it's not like we didn't get hit with IEDs. It wasn't like when we went through the town, there was guys there shooting and shit, you know. So, yeah, I mean, thank God nobody did, you
Yeah.
know. But I couldn't have lived with myself knowing that
Hey,
it was supposed to have been me
yeah.
there.
No, absolutely, man.
You know?
Absolutely. But didn't you have a better? Didn't I at least give you some better soldiers when you came over to 315 Infantry?
Yeah, they were,
I'll tell
for
you,
the most
because
part, they were a good group of guys.
I was combat engineers most of my career. I did a little aviation, you know, but that was actually, I mean, my first infantry company that I went to. So it was kind of different for me.
You know, the hesitation for me to come over, it really wasn't anything to do with you. We both seen the quality of that company
Well,
while we were deployed.
so, because I was kind of known as the fixer, so I got tossed around a lot.
Yep, I can
Hey,
relate.
this is what's going on. You need to go over here. You need to fix this. And that's why I fucking brought you with me. And you agreed, right? And my next two companies after that was the same way. You know, they're just like, hey, this is what's going on. But I mean, this was different place at that time. And I mean, I I don't like what happened to during that time frame as in that company.
Right.
What happened? The shit that happened and shit. Like, I ain't gonna go into it here, but everything happens for a reason, right? I mean,
A door closes and another one opens.
and then we deployed to Afghanistan, so. And that's what I'm talking about. Really didn't like what happened there.
Yeah.
But anyway, here you are, like years later, right? That was Afghanistan was 2013.
Yep.
I deployed to Afghanistan. I left you back on Rear D, right? And here it is, 2021.
Yep.
And you
22.
asked, no,
Now.
well, it's 22 now, but I'm talking 2021.
Yep.
Y'all asked comes to work for me for the third time.
Yep.
I figured after the second time, you would have been done. You would have learned your fucking lesson.
No, and again, this was another one of those situations where, now I'm with somebody that I trust. When you seen that I was looking for work, you seen somebody that you could trust. There was things that you needed somebody to be able to do, and you thought I could do them. There was things I needed, which you had. The location and my mom's health and everything else.
Yeah.
And to me, it seemed like the perfect match. It allowed me to take care of my family that I needed to take care of at the time. It got you somebody again that you trusted to accomplish a mission.
Yep. And you're doing shit that you hadn't did before.
And I'm learning new shit.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yes. So no, I figured this would be a stretch, and this is the second one I popped up on you, so I know I got one coming.
Yep.
I don't know what the fuck it's gonna be.
I don't yet either.
But you do have a third one coming. You don't know what it's about, and it'll be next week sometime. But don't worry about it. It's not really. This one ain't. It's more to the actual topic of this podcast next. Well, I mean, for us, it's next Thursday. I don't know when it'll post, but I'm just saying the topic of this podcast, I think, will blow your fucking mind. It blew my mind when it happened. And to that Camaro was, my lord. I would like give both nuts to fucking have that Camaro. I don't need them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck I need them for?
I just need a tube of pee.
It's like tie rubber band around them.
Yep.
Fuck it.
Yeah. I'd take a Camaro over my balls.
Oh fuck yeah. That one. Then I can show you pictures of it. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait till we talk to this dude. He can show you pictures.
Okay.
So,
Absolutely.
but no, didn't mean to catch you off guard.
It's all right.
But it's good.
I like the spontaneous stuff, man, because it's honest and it's real.
Every bit of it's real. Yeah, definitely. But
at the end of the day, this is about trying to help people. Give them a little bit of laugh, take a 30-minute break from reality, and listen to our podcast, and take your mind off the BS, and at the same time, let everybody know the resources that are available out there to get some help.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
So if you need some help, obviously the fastest way is to reach out to the suicide hotline. It's 1-800-273-8255. If you are a veteran, you'll hit extension 1. The next best method is reach out to us. If you just need somebody to talk to and shoot the shit with, we're a couple real guys that have been there, and I ain't gonna say we've been there and done it, but we've gone through similar trials, and we can help. And
we've been blown up, got TBI, PTSD, just like a lot of you. So there's many ways to reach out too. I mean, TikTok, it's Savai Army Official. YouTube, Savai Army Official. Leave a comment. Our Facebook page, Savai Army. Log on to that. I mean, make a comment on our podcast. We'll get back with you on that. So,
or our Facebook page,
or send us a message through Savai Army. We have a what's the email?
support@savaiarmy.com.
support@savaiarmy.com. Reach out to us. We got no problem talking. Hell, if you're within range, we will come to you, or if we know somebody within range, we can send them to you to talk. So there's plenty of different ways to reach out. One is too many.
If you're on the East Coast and you're a female veteran, there's a good resource called she'stheveteran.org. It's founded by Brooke Jackson. If you're on the West Coast, there's Chief Rathburn's organization, leavingthesideline.org. Both of them are really good organizations, and it's filled full of
they were
veterans.
both at Al Assad with us too.
Yep, they were.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. You say us like I was in Al Assad. Appreciate that.
You were at Al Assad for like a week.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, we appreciate you guys listening, man, and the downloads and the conversations we had. It means the world to us. You helping us grow will help us help others. So keep the downloads coming. Subscribe. Check us out. Take care.
See you later.